What is up, board gamer friends? Welcome back to the channel. We're doing another Should You Back. This is incredible, 3 in a row. And today we're going to be talking about Raw, the Pharaoh Edition reprint, which includes an expansion, which is going to be pretty cool. But before we get into that, I want you guys to check out a video that I made earlier. I made a launch today, actually. It's the 1 Cube Challenge. A bunch of other content creators and myself decided to do a challenge to see who could do the best 1 Cube Challenge, basically a collection in a KLX cube. If you haven't watched it, please do. I love your support. And also, watch the other content creators so we can find out who had the best 1 Cube Challenge. But with that, let's go ahead and hit Raw Pharaoh Edition. And I'm getting a work call, so give me 1 second. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Raw. This is the Pharaoh Edition. Now, I have the original reprint when 20th Century Games here did their reprint of this game, where they basically deluxeified this game. And I must say, I am very, very impressed with this edition of, at least the reprint edition of Raw. If you don't know what Raw is, this is a bidding game where players are going to try to win bids based on the tiles that they have on their player board. So if we come down here, you can see some of these players have some tiles that are flipped upside down, so you don't have a number, and you have some tiles that are flipped up. And then the number here is the bid amount. And when you win a bid, so for example here, you see players are bidding on this thing in the middle. These are tiles that you're going to add to the side of your player board that are going to give you points either during this round or at the end of the game as an end game scoring tile. Some of these tiles are positive, and some of these tiles actually are negative. So if you see they have a red border around them, those are kind of like negative tiles that you don't really want. So those are penalizing there. But what's going to happen is someone is going to declare Raw. They're going to say, I declare Raw, or in this case, it's going to reach the end of the track. But whoever declared Raw will then, the person to their left, I believe, will be the first one to bid. And they could pass if they don't want to bid, but you only get one opportunity to bid. The next person then can choose to bid. So this person here put up a 9. They're going to say, I'm going to bid their 9, but they only have a 4 or a 9. And the next person here is throwing their 13 now. So whoever has the highest number is going to win the bid. But here's the rub of it. They're going to win all these tiles, but the number here, this 1, is going to go onto their player board flipped upside down, and the 13 that they bid with is going to replace it. So the next person that wins the bid, they're going to win the 13. And effectively, when the round ends, all of your tiles that are flipped upside down for the ones that you won are going to come available, and those are going to be what you're going to bid with the next round. So there's kind of this game of, I want these tiles, but I don't really want the low number. I'm still going to bid for whatever reason, because maybe it goes with a game plan I'm going with, or I need some tiles, because if you don't have specific tiles, you get negative points. For example, these, I don't know what they're actually called in the game, the type of tile it is, but these like kind of banner things, if you don't have one, you're going to lose points. And then with these Pharaoh tiles here, if you are the least or tied for the least, you also lose points on that as well. So these are tiles that you need to make sure you have. So sometimes you might have to bid with a number. And there's a lot of interesting gameplay mechanics that come up here where people are playing and trying to, meta game and play. It's a super great bidding game. I think Raw as a game should be in everyone's collection. Like, this game is pinnacle, great board gaming fun. It's easy to teach, immense replayability. It's always fun to play every time you break it out. So I think this is a great game. So this game is now being reprinted. The reprint edition is coming back here for us to take a look at. And there's several different editions that we can take a look at. So they have a kind of the retail edition, which is considered the standard edition. You have the Pharaoh edition here with the upgraded components. And now we have the acrylic edition. I have the Pharaoh edition, and this game, in terms of the secondary market, has held its value. In fact, went crazy nuts when Shut Up and Sit Down did their review. People are losing their mind trying to get this game. And I think it's because this game is just so good. It already was holding its value as it is. The retail version is still a good game. Like, it has all the components that you want. It's just that the tiles aren't the wood chunky bits. I think they're cardboard. I don't know. I have the wooden version. So the Pharaoh edition is what I have. This has wooden bits, really good chunky feel in the bag when you're drawing out your tiles. Oh, that's also what you're doing. You're drawing a tile out. So each player is drawing a tile out and placing it here. And there's one tile. It's actually this one right here, this red red one. If you draw it, it's automatically a raw is declared, and this little boat moves along the track, and when it reaches the end of the phase, the round ends, and there's 3 rounds. So that's the basics of the game. The new part about this campaign, one of the new features, is they're doing an acrylic edition. So they're going to be changing from these wooden tiles. They're going to upgrade them again for $10 more, and you can get acrylic instead, as well as these kind of different color scoring tiles. So right now, normally in the Pharaoh edition, you have these metal tiles, and they're one-sided in the fact that one number has a number and the back side has nothing on it. I think it's the idea is like you're supposed to like keep your score secret so people don't really know how many points you have, something like that. It's never really come up much in gameplay, but that's the idea of it. They also have the Raw Traders expansion by itself for $15. This is the standard version. Generally, I'd recommend whatever version you have. You want to get the expansion of the similar type. So, for example, I have the Pharaoh edition, so I'd be looking here at the Pharaoh edition. Or if I wanted to upgrade to the acrylic version, I would probably do something like that. But here's the Pharaoh edition, which includes those wooden bits. So, and then we have the Raw and Write. This is a standalone game, similar to idea of what Raw is, but it's a roll and write, flip and write version. I don't play these types of games, so I can't give you much of a sense in terms of what I recommend. If they're a thing that you enjoy and the cost is good, it might be something to check out as well. And then there's an additional game here, Ratzia. Don't have much information to say on this. I've never played this game, and I'm not going to give any real thoughts on it. I'd recommend checking it out yourself if it's one to go with. But let's talk about what the new part of this game is. The acrylic edition, you see here, you can see all the new tiles are going to be in acrylic. And they're saying that these are going to be a little smaller than the wooden tiles. In fact, they're going to be more in line to what these cardboard ones look like. So in terms of thickness. That could be a positive or negative. It's probably easier to store without having such chunky bits. But I kind of like the chunky bits. It feels great in the hand and when you're drawing the tiles. So that's a personal opinion. Here's what I just kind of went through in terms of how the game plays. And we have some reviews. I want to get down here to the Traders expansion because this is the new expansion for Raw. And if it's something you're going to be interested in, I am kind of mixed feelings on whether I like this Traders expansion. So effectively what this does is when you're playing with this expansion, each player is going to place one of these trader boards on top of their player board. And you're going to be including these new large good crates, and these trader tiles will now also go into the bag. Now, when a player wins one of these through a bid action, they're going to add it to the right side of their trader board, and then everyone else is going to gain a goods crate based on the amount of trader tiles they have already acquired. So, an example, if I win the tile, you are going to get a crate based on the amount of tiles you've previously won. So the first time someone wins this, nothing happens. The next time someone wins it, anyone who already has previously earned tiles will earn it, so it will cascade better. And if I have 3 of these crates or 3 of these tiles and you win one, I'll get 3 points. And these are basically 1 point per thing at the end of each phase. So it's kind of throwing a bunch of new points into the game. What I don't know if I like about the gameplay of this one, I don't know if it necessarily adds anything interesting enough, but I don't know unless I play it. I need to play it. I need to see how it feels, see how it changes the auction part, because one of the things that annoys me about Raw is sometimes it's just always best to declare Raw. So, like, I feel like every time we play this game, especially at 3 players, one person goes, the next person goes, and the third person declares Raw or something. It's always like one person's always declaring the Raw, and it drives me nuts. So maybe this mechanic will change the way people want to declare Raw, because maybe they don't want to take that trader tile because it's going to give other person points. So that's the only thing I'm curious about. But again, I can't give full opinions on this one until I've played it. But I also don't necessarily know if I want to invest the $20 plus shipping to take a shot on it. It's kind of like one of those, like, I like the game as it is right now, This doesn't really increase the cost too much, but it's also enough that it's like, I'm not sure, and I'm a little bit hesitant. You also have some more metal scoring tablets, which is not bad. This is $20. I think this is not a bad cost, but yeah, the shipping might put it a little bit out of reach for some people, and even me. Like I'm considering not backing this one in terms of that, because I'm just not sure how much I like it. If you want to scroll down here to the bottom, you have lots of videos, by the way. They have so much content for you to check out if you're looking for more information. And I also really appreciate that they picked some of these reviewers that have kind of lower sub counts. Not like that they're bad or anything, but this need more exposure. House obviously has a ton of videos, but a lot of these guys don't have as many subscribers. So I'm so happy to see other content creators getting some love on a big box like product like this. It's so cool to have that. So give some love to these guys, watch some of their videos, and give them a shout out because it's always helpful. There is an add-on here as well for the Egyptian game mat from Game Toppers. I have a Game Topper mat that I actually use for my desk, and very, very high quality. I love it, and I could easily see this being just a great topper for your desk. If you're building Legos or anything like that, just a good mat. It's not necessarily like this is a mat we're going to be playing Raw on, but just more of like, if you like the design and you like the aesthetic that this provides, this is a pretty good quality mat, and you can check out the sizes here, 36 by 48 or 36 by 60. So you can get a really good size mat to cover your table. And then shipping. So here are the shippings. I always make sure you verify, any VAT costs or taxes or anything like that, so you're not taken by surprise when you're doing any of these purchases. But the shipping cost right now for United States and China is $10. So yeah, that's basically it. So we're going to go back to my big old head. We're going to finish this up with my final thoughts. I think Raw by itself at the price that you're getting, which is the $90, remember right? Yeah, the Pharaoh edition. That purchase, the one I got, I've been so happy with that purchase. I think it's a great game. It's an immense replayability, and I would highly recommend it for anyone. And I don't think you're going to be too nervous about losing money if the game is not for you. When you're getting a little bit higher, the $100 one with the Traders expansion, that's acrylic edition with Traders expansion. I think that's a good purchase right there if you don't have the game as it is, and I'd really recommend considering that one. The acrylic edition versus wooden, that's up to you. Like, what do you like better? I think I'm the wooden guy because I like the thicker, chunky bits. But I know that there are people who like the acrylic tiles and having a little bit smaller profile, and it lets you store things easier without having this big, massive stuffed bag in there of wooden bits. But either way, I do think this is a good purchase. I think this is a great game. I think it works in a lot of people's collections, and I would give this my seal of approval if I was doing this as a review. It's a super, super good game, and I highly recommend checking it out. And this is also not sponsored, and I have not had any contact with 20th Century. They've never emailed me, so I'm giving this to you guys. I know I really like this game. In fact, it's one of our gaming group's top games. So that's it. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for watching. My name is Brian from Game Brigade. Thank you guys for checking it out. Please check out the Discord. Join the community. We've got a whole bunch of people talking about whatever you want to talk about, mostly board games, but sometimes fitness and hobbies and whatnot. Check it out. The links are always down below in the description down below. And I will talk to you very soon.